To be or not to be, it is raining. Did I or did I not stick to my January TBR? That's for you to decide. What's up guys, it's Caitlin B. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Now that it is the end of January, I'm gonna go through my January TBR, aka all the books that I said I was going to read this month. And then I'm gonna give you reviews for the books that I actually read this month and we'll compare. We'll see how I did. So go run to the comments and let me know before I continue this video if you think I did well. I'll wait. Have you done it? No, okay. I'll just give you a minute. So did you do it? I've drank an entire pot of coffee today. Oh my God. The first book I had on my January TBR, which by the way, at the beginning of every single month, I post a TikTok with all of the books that I am planning on reading that month. So if you want to see it in real time, then go follow me on TikTok. I will link it down below. It's just at Caitlin B. But the first book I said I was going to read this month was Ghost by Dolly Alderton. And I read her other book, Everything I Know About Love, I keep saying December today. I am so obsessed with this book. I have so many highlights in this book. Like I underlined so many things. I laughed, I cried, I related so much to this book. So I had to read more from her. But I am so sad I didn't get to Ghost this month. I don't know what came over me, but I was just reading so many other books and I was reading so many books at the same time. Like this whole month, I was reading at least 2 or 3 books simultaneously. Dying to read it. So I really want to read it in my romance reading vlog, which I'm filming actually right now. So don't force me to read it because it looks so good. But the next book I said I was going to read was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. And I did actually read this, which is shocking. Not really, it was for my book club, so it wasn't shocking. But if you know me, now this is a book that is totally out of my realm. And if you follow my book racks for a long time, you know that this is probably not a book that you would expect me to read. But I really wanted to just like expand my horizons this year and read books that I normally wouldn't go for. My book club, which I will link it down below, the PTA tier actually helps me pick the books every month. But I actually went into this not knowing anything about this. So when I started reading, I was like, wait, is this about gaming? Consider me bamboozled. I just have so many thoughts, so I can't wait to discuss this like fully in depth with my book club. When I first started this book, I was kind of into it and then it got really slow for me and I was like, oh my God, I'm just trudging through. I felt like it took me so long to just get to like the halfway point in this book because I was just not invested. But once I got to that 40% mark, 50% mark, I was absolutely hooked. It's just unlike anything I've ever read, but we get kind of past present chapters, not really in chronological order, but it follows kind of childhood friends, Sadie and Sam, and they reunite when they're in college. They start working on video games together, like actually designing games together. And then it kind of goes throughout their life as game designers. I don't think it's everyone's cup of tea, but it is something that really stuck with me. It's one of those books that made me feel so many emotions. And after I was done, like I still think about these characters. The NPC chapter absolutely destroyed me. I was bawling on my couch a couple Sundays ago. I just thought this was so well done. Such an interesting read. The writing is beautiful. So if you're someone who really just loves like good writing, I think you're absolutely gonna love this. If you are into gaming, video games, I think you're extra gonna like this book. I don't know. I think I would actually rate this book like an 8 out of 10. Another book I said I was gonna read this month was Still, which is the 3rd book in the Grip trilogy. So you got Flow, which is kind of the prequel. Grip is the main book. And then the last book is Still. I didn't read it. Listen, I really plan on reading this soon. I hope I get to it in February because I just want to finish series. That was also one of my goals for 2023 is to finish the series from last year that I didn't finish. Her writing, Kennedy Ryan, oh my God, it's so good, you guys. The way she describes things, I'm like, oh my, this is poetry. And apparently the 3rd book is the most like raw, emotional, heartbreaking. So I'm scared, but I love it. I'm ready. The next book I said I was gonna read this month was The Infinity Between Us by N.S. Perkins. And this was actually the first book that I read this month. So I did it. I love this book so much and I haven't heard that many people talk about it. So I need to personally lead the way. It's so similar to so many books that people love on Book Talk and have hyped up so much. This one is just as good, if not better. This one is on Kindle Unlimited. I added it to my KU guide. If you liked Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren, if you liked Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, you're really gonna like this. It's such similar vibes. We get childhood best friends to strangers to lovers, which is by far my favorite trope. I love when there's time in between that like something happened and we don't know. We get the past and present chapters, both dual POV, which creme de la creme. We also get like small town beach house vibes and the beach house is actually shared by 2 families. Something happens where they don't speak for a while and then they come back. She comes back to the house expecting it to be empty. The guy is there, but she wants to sell the beach house, like get rid of it because the memories and everything that place holds for her. And the guy is there and he's like, no, let me just convince you not to sell it. Like just give me the summer, that forced proximity. And oh my God, it's so good. Big golden retriever energy if you're into that for the guy. We get some spice as well. The big like plot twist reveal I did pick up on pretty early on, so it wasn't a shock to me at all, but I still really enjoyed the book regardless of knowing that. The next book I said I was gonna read was Lotus by Jennifer Hartman, and I am so happy to report I did read this as well. This has been on my TBR forever. I'm so happy that I finally got to it. I read this on my Kindle. Again, this is a KU book. So I read her other book last year, Still Beating, and it was one of my favorite books of the year, and I loved it so much. This book, you guys, if you liked Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan, which I feel like so many people love that book so much, this is Archer's Voice, just darker. Okay, this one especially does get pretty dark, so please look up trigger warnings. I think I rated this book a 9 out of 10. This book was about childhood friends, Oliver and I can't remember her name. Literally cannot remember her name. They were childhood friends, like neighbors. They were so close, and then one day he goes missing. Fast forward 22 years later and he comes back, and he has to kind of learn how to integrate back into society. We have to try to figure out like what actually happened to him during those 22 years, and it is so good. We get ultimate innocent boy trope. Like, he is so wholesome. If you thought Archer Hale was wholesome, Oliver is so innocent. It melted my heart. I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, there were so many times that I was melting and blushing. I was like, Oliver, you don't even know. You don't even know. I just love the progression of their friendship. I mean, they had to basically like get to know each other all over again. I loved how patient they were with each other, especially her with him, and she was dealing with her own trauma at the same time. It was just so good. And also, I had no idea, but it does kind of connect back to Still Beating. Characters from Still Beating do show up in Lotus, so that was kind of a fun little Easter egg. Last like 25% of this book just absolutely shook me to my core. I did not expect any of it. I was like, what is happening? Another book I said I was gonna read this month was If He Had Been With Me, which is apparently like an ultimate tearjerker, make you cry kind of book, and I was just really in the mood for a tearjerker emotional book. I did not read this book, so love that for me, but I mean, I did get my good cry. Again, I just didn't get to it because I was reading so many other books this month, but I really want to read this book so much, and it is on KU, so I have it downloaded to my Kindle already. Hopefully I get to it this month, but I don't know. I just have so many books that I want to read this month too. Like this coming month, I just stressed. I have 400 books in my TBR. So, and the last book I said I was gonna read in my TBR was Conversations on Love by Natasha. You guys, I can't. Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn. I did start reading this book, but I just haven't finished it, so I can't really include it. But what's funny is I went in the infrared sauna a couple weeks ago, so I was like, okay, last time I brought my Kindle, it started overheating naturally when it's 160 degrees. I don't know what I expected. Actually, I lied. It didn't really overheat. It just got so hot to the touch that it was burning my flesh. I was like, okay, let's bring a physical book this time. Duh. But apparently, it was also a little too hot for my physical book. Literally hanging by a thread, but that's character, okay? I really like this book already though. It reminds me so much of this book, which is what I was doing. I was trying to chase the high. Very excited to continue reading this, and it's kind of more just like essays, her interviewing people talking about love. Dolly Alderton is actually one of the people that she interviews in this, so I'm so excited. TBD on this one. I will probably finish this ASAP in February. Those were all the books that were on my TBR that I planned on reading. I did read 2 other books that were not on there. So the first book, which is technically not really a book, it's more of an essay, but this was Movie Star by Jessica Simpson. It's literally 28 pages. So it's so quick, but if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you can read this or listen to this for free. But I feel like this is such a great palate cleanser if you're just someone who's like, I just need to get out of this slump. I just need like something quick to read. If you read her memoir Open Book, then I think you're really gonna like this. That's why I decided to pick this up and read it, because I loved her memoir so much, and this just felt like a natural extension to me. It's basically just a short story essay about finding yourself and finding love within yourself, but it does tell the story of like her true Hollywood romance and untold stories. So it felt like it could have been included in her memoir. The only thing is I just wish she said who this was about. I'm sure some people can do some digging and like figure out who this was written about. I need to do that myself. I just need to know the date. I wouldn't mind if you'd like left it in the comments. Also gave me all the feels with like the early 2000s vibes with the True Religion jeans, the sidekick phones. Oh my God, I wanted one so badly. Like there was not one thing that I wanted more as a kid besides a dog than a Swarovski crystalled sidekick. Damn it. Low-key, I still want one. What if I just got a sidekick? Like, what if I just use that as my normal phone? That would be so iconic. That'd be so camp. But the last book I read this month was Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I actually got an arc of this on my Kindle, so it comes out February 7th, and I don't know when this video is coming out or like my romance reading video for a week, but I do include this in that video. So I'm not gonna review it here because I will get all of my thoughts on this book in that video. So stay tuned for that reading vlog. But the only thing I will say is I loved the setting. It's like Napa Valley kind of winery vibe, which I've never read a book that takes place there, so loved that. But those are all the books that I read in January and all the books that were on my TBR. I feel like I didn't do that badly. Some months I don't get to any books that were on my TBR, and I feel like I hit some of them. I actually started ACOTAR this month, which is another reason why I didn't get to all the books on my TBR this month, because that book is long, and I'm buddy reading it with 2 of my friends, Jill and Victoria, so that we can like discuss it together and get hyped up together. But I'll definitely be finishing that in February, and I'm gonna be doing reading vlogs for the entire series on that, so stay tuned. But let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know if you're gonna read any of these now. Tag me on Instagram at Caitlin B. Tag me so I can see your reviews. But I am excited for February. I feel like we've got some good lineups. I started the year off very strong. So many great books. I mean, there wasn't really any misses this month, which I am so proud of. So that is it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Mwah!